And then I want to read this one that's a really good tweet here. Billionaires tweeting the diamond hands emoji should be canceled for the cultural appropriation of poor folk memes. They are not one of us. They are not one of us, Max.
Yeah, no, this is really interesting, this Michael Saylor versus Elon Musk, and how it has kind of divided along lines of plebe versus toff, a word used in the UK to describe aristocrats and patricians. And people wouldn't normally associate Michael Saylor with plebe because he is a billionaire, but the way his approach to Bitcoin is with utmost humility. Like he believes the protocol is this thing of beauty, is aesthetically enriching, and so he approaches it with great reverence. Whereas Elon Musk takes the high-handed, patrician, overweened, spoiled brat approach of, I just found out about Bitcoin and I'm here to fix it. He hasn't done any due diligence, and he's made a total jackass out of himself. But it's interesting how these two are now squaring off on Twitter. You got Elon Musk will say some cryptic tweet really revealing his total ignorance on the subject. And then Michael Saylor will respond with 10 data points that just shoot everything down. And everyone is now kind of divided in the community. The Jameson Lobb quote really resonates deeply for a number of reasons, because it sets up this whole new way of thinking in a big way. If you're a fiat billionaire or you're tied to fiat, you spend a lot of time and energy maintaining that wealth. When I was working on Wall Street for many years, there's a saying that it's just as hard to maintain your wealth as it is to make your wealth. And that's true, because once you achieve a certain amount of wealth, you've got all these taxes to consider and all these different there's a lot that comes with it. Managing wealth is actually a fairly complicated and stressful environment, similar to just trying to make that wealth. But with Bitcoin, as Jameson Lobb's pointing out here, you're doing nothing except just being patient and watching the world flame apart, and your ship is rising. There's not much more to do than that. So it's very, very interesting, this dynamic.
Yeah, and it's all playing out online, and this great revolution happening, the great migration to Bitcoin, the hyper Bitcoinization. And there's another thing, this energy FUD is playing out with this, the plebeian versus elite. I guess I like TOF. I like TOF better than patrician or elite or anything like that. I think I like the TOF.
TOF, I didn't know the whole full version of this until I was watching Downton Abbey, and the patriarch of the Downton Abbey clan refers to someone else as toffee-nosed. So I believe a toffee-nosed is the full epithet, and shortened to TOF.
Plebeian in Wikipedia is defined as this. The plebeians, also called plebs or plebes, were in ancient Rome the general body of free Roman citizens who were not patricians as determined by the census, or in other words, commoners. So, let's look at the elite financial press and then how Elon Musk responded to this, revealing himself, his true nature, as being filled with envy for Elon Musk. And this is Adam Sampson I think he's from the FT. He says, everything Elon Musk ever wanted to know about Bitcoin's growing energy problem, but was afraid to ask. An excellent FT read by Katie Martin FX and Nauman Billy. So this is Bitcoin's growing energy problem. It's a dirty currency. The headline there says, as you can see, all those coal stacks and smokestacks and a Bitcoin over the horizon. But first I want to read a pleb who responded to this, and then I'll get into the Elon Musk. We'll get into the Elon Musk, Michael Saylor thing, because obviously that guy was tweeting at Michael Saylor. But Midnight Hodl says this one line, he's referring to a line from the article, sums it up. It's easy to describe 40% renewable energy as dirty, while ignoring the financial incentive it might give for future green projects and wasted energy consumption. If we were to listen to journalists, we would never improve and accomplish anything. So the line he's referring to is this from the FT article. Honestly, I don't care what Bitcoin does. I care that it is hugely energy intensive and that there are maybe better ways to go about Bitcoin mining than this very inefficient, very energy intensive process, they quote. I don't care what Bitcoin does.
Right. And this is peeling the curtain back. And the writer is admitting that they're writing propaganda.
Yeah.
Right? They don't care the facts. They don't care the context. But they've been given a job from the editor to write a propaganda piece, a smear piece. And this is what it is. I don't care that I'm writing propaganda, but this is my job and I'm writing propaganda.
It's also the toffs don't care about the plebes or the plebs, the deplorables, the basket of deplorables. They don't care what you think. They don't care that that your individual sovereignty, all the good things that Bitcoin brings to you. But they actually do care. I think they do care. And that's in the next tweet from the same guy, Midnight Hodl. And it brings me back to Paul Krugman, because Paul Krugman is also very anti-Bitcoin. He was also very anti-internet. And we spoke about this in our interview recently. You may have seen it with Mark Friedrich. And we talked about Paul Krugman and his role as a gatekeeper to the elite and his role as kind of a toady, a jester to the elite. So Midnight Hodl points out that if we were to listen to you, there even wouldn't be an internet, one of the most disruptive and liberating technologies. Perhaps you should spend some more time actually doing something to improve our lives and planet we live on. And he's referring to that article from May 31st, 1999, dig more coal, the PCs are coming. So they said the same thing in 1999 when the elite, when the patricians, when the toffs, whenever you want to call them, they realized that this power of the internet and connecting humans all across the earth could leverage the power of the plebeians, the plebs, the plebes against the elite.
Right. Why is also... you've got Musk is associated with the aristocratic classes because almost his entirety of his fortune's tied to government-issued carbon credits. So he's tied in with the government closely. He's not doing stuff that would be completely independent of the government. He's actually a government apparatchik, right? So he exists entirely on carbon credits. So I think he's got the tap on the shoulder, and he's been tasked with trying to go after Bitcoin. You got Janet Yellen, you've got Jay Powell, you've got central bankers, you've got the IMF, you've got Christine Lagarde. You've got a lot of folks that are attacking Bitcoin now because then they of course understand it's a threat to them. And I think that Elon Musk got the tap on the shoulder as well. I think that was the NBC Saturday Night Live performance as part of that, to essentially create a mythological creature that can be used as propaganda, and he's being used as a propaganda tool. But the fact that Paul Krugman has been wrong for so many years, and he's also the house monkey over there at the New York Times who's been pushing propaganda for years and years. Nothing he says makes any economic sense. But this energy FUD is so absurd. There's absolutely nothing within it that makes any sense whatsoever. It's easily dispelled. The fact is also that Michael Saylor said something in an interview where, when asked about this, he was talking about why anyone would disparage the energy usage of Bitcoin, which is 1/10 of 1% of global energy usage, 1/10 of 1% of global energy usage. Why anyone would disparage this and ignore the fact that it's guaranteeing for billions of people private property rights and access to a store of value and a medium of exchange is really heinous and atrocious and a violation of human rights. He makes that point. So Elon has to ask himself, does he really want to be on the side of those who are attacking human rights around the world? which he, at the moment, that's what he's done. And it is quite a heinous act on his part to throw 5 billion people, under the bus effectively and give them a big fuck you. It's despicable that